puts 1,000 to flight. Why wouldn't you want to join your faith with somebody else? 2 puts 10,000 to flight. So if you're a believer, the altar is a place for you. And then, as opposed to having doubt and thinking you can receive nothing from the Lord, let's look at Mark 11:23. Oh, you are good up there today. Wow. For assuredly, I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be removed and cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, he will have whatever he says. So that is, as opposed to doubt, that is what faith produces. So it will change your result. If you ask yourself, am I a believer or am I an unbeliever? It will change the end result of what you will receive. So we need to be believers. We need to have faith in our lives and no doubt. You know, it's not realistic to think that doubt's never going to come to your mind, because it's pretty much the first thing that shows up, isn't it? That's the first boom comes into your head, that doubt immediately. So you can't beat yourself up if you have doubt that comes in. It's whether you let it stay and you let it hang around. You got to fight the good fight. You got to fight for faith. Faith doesn't just happen. Doubt just happens. Faith, you have to fight for it, and you've got to keep standing. Now, I've seen something happening in the church. Some of us have become just attenders. We just wear our sign that says Christian. Or maybe we've just become, and we're happy being a part of the crowd. We just slip in, get our little fill up, and we slip out. Just being a part of the crowd. Pastor's been talking about some stories in the Bible that are just so important for our faith walk. And I want to look at them again. Luke 18:35 through 42. Because I really see that this has happened in the church. I'm talking the church across America, but I'm talking the church here. And nobody can tell you except for you. You have to look at your own heart and determine. We're going to go all the way to 42. Then it happened as he was coming near Jericho, Jesus, that a certain blind man sat by the road begging. And hearing a multitude, so there was a crowd of people around, he asked what it meant. So they told him that Jesus of Nazareth was passing by. And he cried out saying, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. I love this part. People trying to be helpful. Then those who went before warned him that he should be quiet. Be quiet, shush. But he cried out all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. So Jesus stood still and commanded him to be brought to him. And when he had come near, he asked him, saying, what do you want me to do for you? He said, Lord, that I may receive my sight. Then Jesus said to him, receive your sight. Your faith has made you well. Now there were crowds of people around. Are we a part of the crowd? Or are we like the blind man that sat there and cried out for Jesus? And even when they shush us, cry out even louder. Stand up and keep standing, and don't quit standing until you see the promise. And you know what? All of the patriarchs of old, not all of them even got to see their promise. So will we be people that will stand up and believe even if we die before we get to see those promises? That's the example of the old-time patriarchs. That Moses didn't even get to go into the promised land. The Israelites didn't even get to go into the promised land. But yet they believed all the way there. They believed. So Mark 5:21, we'll turn there. Jesus was just passing by. You know, the Word of God says where two or more meet together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. So guess what today? There are more than 2 people in this place. Jesus is in the midst of us. Are we going to, like that multitude, let him pass by? Or are we going to be like the blind man that cried out and stopped Jesus? It's so easy. It's so easy to get comfortable as part of the crowd. It's so easy for it to become the same old, same old. But I am unwilling to let Jesus pass me by. Anytime where he is in the place where 2 or more are gathered, the word of God says he goes wherever we go. So technically, if we're born again, he is wherever we are. So whatever moment of the day that you are in, Jesus is there. Is he going to just pass by? Or are you going to cry out to him? Let's read Mark 5:21. I'm not sure how far we're going to go. Now, when Jesus had crossed over again by the boat to the other side, a great multitude gathered to him, and he was by the sea. Oh, that's all we got? All right, let's turn there then. Mark 5:21. Sorry. Okay, Mark 5:21. And behold, one of the rulers of the synagogue came, Jairus by name, and when he saw him, he fell at his feet and begged him earnestly, saying, My little daughter lies at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, that she may be healed, and she will live. So Jesus went with him, and a great multitude followed him and thronged him. So there were multitudes around, but Jairus needed his daughter to be raised from the dead, so he cried out to Jesus, and Jesus turned, and then the crowds were literally thronging Jesus, it said. That means they were bumping up against him, all around him. But yet this woman, in the next verses, comes up and touches the hem of his garment, because she knew if she could just touch the hem of his garment, that she would be healed. And Jesus noticed that power had left him. Why for her? Because she went after Jesus. But there were crowds all around, touching him, bumping up against him. And they didn't receive the same thing that she received. It's based on our faith. Are we a believer or are we an unbeliever? And then this is my absolute favorite one, and it's Luke 5:19. And I better turn there because I don't know how far we're going to go. Luke 5:19. This is some serious tenacity, and I love tenacity. I love being around people that won't quit, that nothing stops them and nothing shakes them. 5:19. All right. Oh, I think I need to back up. Okay, we're going to start with 17. Now it happened on a certain day, as he was teaching, that there were Pharisees and teachers of the law sitting by, who had come out of every town of Galilee, Judea, and Jerusalem. And the power of the Lord was present to heal them. Then behold, so they came from all over, and they were in this house, and it was just filled. You couldn't get a seat if you wanted to. You probably couldn't even squeeze in and get some standing room. Then behold, men brought a bed, a man who was paralyzed, whom they sought to bring in and lay before him. And when they could not find how they might bring him in because of the crowd, they went up on the housetop and let him down through the roof. Through the roof. They could not get in. They couldn't get through those crowds. Nobody was saying, oh, hey, there's a paralyzed man. Let's make way to get him to Jesus so he can be healed. No, his friends took off the roof of the house. I don't know how much the owner appreciated it, but they didn't really care. They knew their friend needed to get to Jesus, so they did whatever it took to get to Jesus. Do we? Do we? Or are we just comfortable coming in on Sunday and going right back out? we need to ask ourselves,